All right, so if you watched the last video, you know that I went to a capital offender institution when I was 14. And that's how I learned about cars. If you want to hear that story, check out that video. But a couple people messaged me and they wanted to know a little bit more about the guys who were messing with me and how I pretty much overcame. So in that place, the gangs are segregated by races, by essentially the color of your skin. You have white gangs, black gangs, and Mexican gangs. And there isn't really like subsections, and it just kind of group up based on race. And that's why when I got in there, being from San Antonio, everybody was really angry at me. They were jumping me, they were beating me up, they were stealing my stuff. It was bad. To give you an example, what they would do is they would put their kind of knuckles like this and just used like this part of the knuckle, and then they would come over and then they would like hit me. What they were trying to do is they were trying to see how many bruises they could put on my body, and I wasn't defending myself. That went on for a year. During the day, now this didn't happen 24/7 because these guys, you know, they're interested in their own whatever's going on. But at nighttime, that's kind of where everybody was chilling. They were watching TV, playing cards, playing spades, using the phone, eating snacks. But within the day room, there was kind of like assigned seats. Like the coolest, strongest gang leaders would be watching TV, right? And then the tables, like, it was all kind of like a hierarchy structure. And all the way in the back of the room, nowhere near the TV, in the corner next to the bookshelf, that was like the worst spot. Like that was like the loser spot. That was my spot. And that's where I would sit at, because nobody wanted to sit by there. It was just kind of like you couldn't see the TV. It wasn't by any of the games. It wasn't by anything. It was just in a corner. You know, just naturally, I just started looking through the books. I started reading books. I started kind of getting into books. And one day, I'm going to put this over here so I could pick something up and show you. One day, I picked up a book. I was going to go read it, and something came out. And I was like, what is this? So I went to the bathroom, I sat in the stall and I opened it up. I was like, what is this? And it was like a full-size letter or a piece of paper, but it was like in symbols. It looked like something from the movie Predator. It was, I couldn't understand anything. So I was like, I don't know what this is. So I was like, is there more? So what I did was I folded it back and I put it back where it was. But then I went back to my loser spot and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna start looking through these books. So I started looking through these books and I found a letter, but this time I think this letter was going to someone who didn't have the key. So it was cryptic, meaning that they had their own language and their own cipher, and essentially this time they were sending the key with the letter because I guess the person who was getting it didn't have it. So I stole that letter and the key. I went to the bathroom and I started reading these letters, and they were essentially orders. They were orders who to beat up, what to do, who needs to do what. So I slowly started going through all the books. And what I would do was I would just take mental note, because by then I knew who was who, and I would put the letters back, but I kept the key. And I actually kept that whole letter so it wouldn't look suspicious. And like the key was missing. And I started reading these letters. And the crazy part is that one day I wanted to test my hypothesis. And what I did was I told one of the staff members that I trusted, because you couldn't trust every staff member, that during the afternoon in the schoolhouse, subject A is going to run across the schoolhouse and attack subject B. So that day that was going to happen, I was like, one of the most exciting days of my life. I was just pumped up because is it going to work out? So I was in line and I was, you know, everybody's in this circle, and when you're in school, because it's just a big circle, and right at noon, this guy jumps out and heads over to attack the other guy. Well, the staff knew this already, so they literally clotheslined him, picked him up, threw him on the ground, put him in handcuffs, and locked him away in solitary. So then I realized that these letters are not only in the bookshelf, right, but they're in the schoolhouse, because that's where all the dorms meet up, and it's the central hub. So we had modules where you kind of read, that's how you do your work. Well, they were hiding letters in the modules, in books, underneath desks. I mean, I was taking them all. It didn't matter if it was the white gang, the Mexican gang, the black gang. I was taking them all. And I was literally going back and trying to decipher him. And I was just trying to literally dismantle or figure out and just let my point of contact know like what's going down. Now, these people are super vicious. In these places, they operate based on when you come in and you join a gang, you have to put in work. And when you put in work, that means you have to go beat somebody up. And even at a juvenile place, it was already structured like that. So in my way, that was my first step towards fighting back against these gangs. And that was the first time ever that I gained some confidence in myself that I can do something. And let me tell you, if you guys, again, are interested in these videos, I will tell you some more. But I hit puberty, I got stronger, and one day I stood up for myself and it changed everything. And I also systematically knew that in a place like that, the currency was cookies. And again, that could be a whole other story, but I managed to get myself in the situation where two and a half years, once I was in that place, that I managed to figure out, you know, how to be the person who delivers the cookies. There's always extra cookies. And I mean, people like the guy who has the cookies. I just want to share with you guys, it's not very correlated, but it goes to the first story because some of you guys asked that was the first time after getting beat up daily, stuff stolen from me, that I stood up for myself. It might have been in a logistical way, and based on, you know, their side, it might be like he snitched, but I dismantled their cryptology, I dismantled their communication system, and they never recover. Like the at schoolhouse, everything. There was just no way now to get letters to anyone. It was, including like, yeah, I was in that place, but some of those guys were just, it made them happy to see people hurt. So in a way, I felt proud of myself for standing up for myself and finding a way to fight back. And the worst spot in that living space ended up being the spot that pretty much was their weakness, and I found it. All right, guys, well, let me know what you think. It's kind of a crazy story, but anyways, you guys take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.